Hello potatoes, welcome back to Hyper PotaTalk number 6. And in this episode we're gonna talk about the set which will become after Gargantua Awaken, which is a new kind of booster which we called it the Ultimate Booster. So with this Ultimate Booster actually, it's a new kind of booster. The box contains 10 packs and a pack contains 7 cards, with one being double rare or higher. So from those 10 packs you got in a box, every pack will have a guaranteed at least one double rare. So we're gonna get 2 ultimate boosters this September. I'm gonna talk about the first one now. It's the Super Hero Wars Omega Advent of Cosmoman. Cosmoman, finally a Hero World update. And yeah, as you can see, I'm super hyped for the set because it's finally an all Hero World set again, coming out this September. So there are actually 3 main archetypes being supported, not being supported. 3 main archetypes being released on the booster. So the first one being Cosmoman, the second one Sky Machine Corps, and the third one is a Battle Building. Okay, so in this video I'm gonna focus more on the Cosmoman, and let's talk about the cards, the important cards for Cosmoman deck. Okay, this is the first card, Galaxy Exalt Cosmoman. Okay, as you can see from the design, it's actually kinda similar to the Japanese giant monster fighting spaceman. Yeah. This Cosmoman design is based on Ultraman, the giant guy, which is actually pretty cool because Hero World never has this Ultraman themed archetype before. And let's look at his skill first. He's a size 3 monster with 10,000, quick of 2 and defense 8,000. Attribute Galaxy Exalt and Galaxy Defense Team. Cost pay 3 gauge. When this card enters the field or you transform into this card, put the top 3 cards of your deck into its soul. This card gets defense plus 1000 and critical plus 1 for each card in its soul. At the end of your turn, return this card to your hand. Transform, pay 2 gauge, double attack and soul guard. So basically, when this card enters, most of the time you want to transform into this card, right? So when you transform into this card and you put the top 3 cards of your deck into his soul, he's gonna have 3 souls with a power of 13,000, defense of 11,000, and a massive critical of 5. And he has double attack. Okay, I think that's already crazy enough. And we see here he has at the end of turn, return this card to hand. So when he returns, you basically remove 1 soul from his soul, right, to soul guard. So you can say that he has a 3 turn life, just like Ultraman. Okay, this is a fun fact. If you watch Ultraman, the series, the old Ultramans, they have a time limit, a 3 minutes time limit, when they can stay on Earth in their giant form. So when they go near 3 minutes, their light thingy in the chest will go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong like that, and they return to their human form or goes back to the outer space, and it perfectly fits the 3 minutes, the 3 card soul under Cosmoman. Okay, now let's look at the other support card he has. When you see this card, you know that the deck is really focused on him, so you really need to find him as fast as possible, right? That's why we have either the Spell Searcher, Cosmo Flasher. Put top card of your deck into your gauge and put up to 1 Galaxy Exalt Cosmoman from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. You may only cast Cosmo Flasher once per turn. So this is basically the transform item needed to transform into Ultraman. Okay, let's move on. If you watch Ultraman 2, you know that he needs the support from the Earth people too, right? The defense system He uses planes and uses tanks and all those stuffs needed to support the Ultraman fighting giant monsters. And now let's look at all this support he needs. Okay, the first one we have Cosmo Falcon number 1. He's a size 2 monster with 513. Call cost, put the top of your card of your deck into its soul and pay 1 gauge. All Galaxy defense team on your field cannot be rested by your opponent's card effect and gain critical +1 and also penetrate. He has a soul guard. So basically if you have him on your field, Cosmoman on his first turn will have a critical of 6, a massive 6 damage to your opponent twice. That's super crazy. Okay, let's move on to the other spaceship. Cosmo Falcon number 2. A size 1 monster with 313. You may discard Galaxy Defense Team from your hand. If you do, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put up to 1 Galaxy Defense Team and up to 1 Galaxy Exalt from among them into your hand. And put the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. You may only use this ability once per turn. So, it's a very good card because you really need to search for your Galaxy Defense Team and also your Galaxy Exile, right? The Cosmoman, you really need it in your hand. So if you don't have it, you can play this Cosmo Falcon number 2 and get them to your hand. Because if you look at the top 5 cards, there's a high chance that you'll get what card you want, right? Because even that kind of Durenberg is really strong, this card is also very good. And another thing that's good about this card is he can also be used to search for spells. For example, like the Searcher, the Nullifier, they also have Galaxy Defense Team and Galaxy Exalt in their traits. Okay, let's move on. Now it's the tank type. Oh yeah, by the way, these images were taken from Buddy Spoiler website. Be sure to check their site out because they have a really nice info and updates about Buddyfight cards. They have reliable and very fast SARs and it's really good. Check their website out, I'll put it in the description too. Next we're gonna talk about Heavy Spider. These are the size 2 with 713. Call cost, pay 1 gauge and put the top card of your deck into it, this card soul. If you're transformed, nullify all abilities of your opponent's monster that is in battle with this card. This ability cannot be nullified. And if this card attacks and destroys your opponent's monster, you can draw 1 card. He has double attack and soul guard. I don't think I really need to explain a lot about this card. This card is just really strong. You can clean your opponent's monster with a lot of soul just by attacking with him, and your opponent can soul guard. And after you destroy them, you can draw 1 card, 1 free card. And if you did it twice, 2 draw in 1 turn, while also destroying your opponent's card. And that's just super sick. Let's move on to another card. We have attack from the sky, we have attack from the land, and now it's turn to attack from the sea. We have Hype Mariner. Hype Mariner is a size 1 monster with 611. When this card enters the field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and you gain 1 life. Then if you're transformed into a card, into a Galaxy Exalt, draw a card. So basically he's a living Dragon Emperor legend. He can attack, and but I think most of the time you're gonna just, after you call him, you're gonna replace him with another stronger card like the Cosmo Falcon or so. So yeah, actually this is just an advantage card. Okay, I think we're gonna talk about one more support he has, the Horizon Fire. I remember that when this card was first revealed as a COTD, people like lose their mind because what is this uncommon card? This is just super strong for an uncommon. Size 2, 722, call cost, pay 1 gauge and put the top card of your deck into its soul. When this card attacks, if you are transformed into Galaxy Exalt, destroy a card in your opponent's field and deal 1 damage to your opponent. He has double attack and soul guard, so you can use him to attack your opponent, destroy your opponent's monster on the left or the right, or even the item, or even the set spells, which is gonna make a lot of difference. And also deal 1 damage to your opponent. He's not gonna destroy only 1, but he's gonna destroy 2 cards for your opponent in your turn. Like, that's really crazy for an uncommon card. But if you see, most of the cards here needs you to transform into Cosmoman. And a big weakness in this deck is when your Cosmoman is destroyed right after you transform into him, because the cards put into the soul is not a part of the call cost. So when his skills to put souls from the drop zone into his soul and from the top card of your deck into its soul is activated, your opponent can counter and destroy your Cosmoman right at that time. And to counter that, we have this card. Galaxy Defense Force is turn-based. It's a set spell. All Galaxy Defense team on your field gets power plus 2000, defense plus 2000. That's already very strong. Your Cosmoman will have a defense of 12,000 at least. And all Galaxy Exalt on your field can be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, and all abilities can be nullified by your opponent's card effect. This set spell is also a Galaxy Defense team, which means by using the Cosmo Falcon number 2, you can take him into your hand. And another good thing about this card is it's not a once per field card, so you can like play 2, so your Galaxy will gain a defense of 4,000, which is really crazy. Okay, moving on, we're gonna look at another defense card he has, which is probably the best attack nullifier we have right now. Cosmo Barrier. Its attribute is also Galaxy Exalt, which means you can take him with Cosmo Falcon number 2. We only cast this card if you are transformed into Galaxy Exalt. By paying 1 gauge, counter. For this turn, damage dealt to you are reduced to 1. So no matter how many times your opponent attacks, the damage you will take will be 1. For example, For example, your opponent's attack with a monster with critical of 4, you will only take 1 damage. Then he attacks again with a critical of 3, you will only take 1 damage. And isn't that just really crazy? Like, it's not even for attacks, it also activates for spells or impacts or whatever that deals you damages in your opponent in this turn is reduced to 1. I'm starting to talk randomly, like, oh my gosh, I'm so hyped. And it's not a superhero without a finishing move, right? So we're gonna have this Axiom Photon Wave. You only cast this card if your opponent's life is 4 or less, and if you're transformed into Galaxy Exalt with 1 or less soul. So you can only play this card when you are in a pinch. Turn a pinch into a chance. Cast cost, pay 2 gauge, deal 4 damage to your opponent. This card can be nullified, damage can be reduced, and if your opponent will become 0 by this card, it can be changed by your opponent's card, which means unrevivable. Just like the Button Buster and all those cards in X season. That's the finishing move. And I think having Cosmoman fighting alone to protect this Earth is pretty bad. Because there are a lot of bad things happening around us, I think he needs some friends to help him too. The first one, we have Galaxy Exalt Cosmoman Draco. He's a size 3, 7/7. Call cost, pay 2 gauge. When this card enters the field or you transform into this card, put the top 3 cards of your deck into its soul. If you are transformed into a Galaxy Exalt, reduce the size of this card in your field by 3. So he'll become a size 0. At the end of your turn, return this card to your hand. Move Soul Guard, double attack. So he's a good companion you can have along with Cosmoman. You transform into Cosmoman and then you call Cosmoman Draco, he's gonna be a size 0. With double attack, Soul Guard. Yeah, move. And that's not all, he's gonna need some more friends. And we also have Galaxy Exalt Cosmoman. This is also a size 3 with 10 to 7. Call cost pay 2 gauge. When this card enters the field or you transfer into it, top 3 cards to soul as usual. Galaxy Exalt you are transformed in, gains penetrate, and could not be rested by your opponent's card effect. This is really important because a lot of cards are gonna rest your cards today, so having Cosmoman is a reassuring card. At the end of your turn, you turn this card to your hand, and he has triple attack and soul guard. So one of the perfect field you can make is you transform into Cosmoman, you have Cosmo 9 on your field, and you also have Cosmoman Draco on your field, which size will be reduced to 0. So okay, sorry, the focus is missing, I don't know why. And let me redo it again. A triple attack, Cosmo 9, a double attack, Cosmoman with a critical of 5, and also Cosmoman Draco with double attack. And that's just really scary, a super big damage happening that turn. Okay, I think that's all the stuff I will talk about Cosmoman. They have some other supports in the set actually, but I don't think I'm gonna need to talk much about them. You can see on Buddy Spoiler website instead and find your own perfect deck. And one tips I can give you, an old card you can probably need to make this deck even stronger is this card over here, also the Dream Ahead When. It's basically a spell nullifier. By paying 2 gauge you can nullify a spell, and that's just really good. Slamming your opponent's heart with 6 critical Cosmoman, linking attack with like Cosmo Falcon and Cosmoman Draco, which creates a critical of 11 I believe. Then you just slam this when your opponent casts a nullifier spell, and boom, game. So that's all about the Cosmoman. I'm gonna talk about the other archetypes in another Hyper PotaTalk. If you like this video, be sure to share this video, subscribe to my channel, and see you guys again in the next video. Hyper Potatoes, signing out.